Hello and welcome to another installment of Live autoethnographies Japanese cooking shows. Let's start that one again, shall we? Welcome to another installment of Liv analyzes Japanese cooking shows with her own understanding of American/Australian/Italian cooking shows and compares the pair. So, let's get into it. So, a bit of backstory. My heritage is Italian, and as a small child, I spent a lot of time with my grandparents while my mum and dad were working. So, me and my brother would often go to my nonna, which means grandmother in Italian, my nonna and nonno's houses after school, for example, or while my brother was in school, I would be there on my days that I wasn't at preschool. So with that in mind, they have a thing called Ray International, which is like a network of Italian... Let me look it up, one sec. I'm pretty sure it's just a network of Italian TV shows, but it's called Ray Italia, I think. 1 second. Oh, okay, so it says Rai Italia is the international television service of Rai Internazionale, a subsidiary of Rai, Italy's public national broadcaster, blah, blah, blah. So Rai Italia operates a television network that broadcasts around the world via 3 localized feeds. So, for example, my nonno now watches, it's like you can't choose, it's just one channel and they play certain programs throughout the day. So if I was to go visit my nonno right now, it's currently 4:37, he would be watching kids shows, which is a bit weird, but you know, they watch what they can in their own language. Anyway, I'm sidetracked. Back to the point. When I was younger, I would go to my nonna and nonno's house and watch TV. Often they would have, after school, they would have Ready Steady Cook, but it was the Italian version. And I specifically remember a big egg in the background. That was the branding. So this big egg was the branding. Let me look up what it's called. I can't remember it, but I will insert a clip. I will insert a clip as this video goes. But that's what I remember experiencing as a child, because we didn't really watch cooking shows at home. Obviously I was a kid, so I was interested in Nickelodeon and stuff like that. So I never really had any other experience with cooking shows besides this Ready Steady Cook version. And I mean, sometimes if they didn't have Rayo, they'd have the English version of it. So that's kind of a nice contrast. Anyway, as I got older, I remember every Friday night when we had Ostar downstairs in the living room down here, my mum and dad and I would watch Hell's Kitchen, which is renowned for Gordon Ramsay yelling and calling people idiot sandwiches and swearing, and it's honestly one of my favourite shows. I actually watch it on YouTube all the time. So with those in mind, I went in to watch the Japanese cooking show Iron Chef, which I had no experience with before. So watching that, I was like, what the hell is going on a bit? So a recap, if you haven't seen, I will include a bit from that video. I was just very confused by the whole concept of it. So Ready Steady Cook, there's 2 chefs, and then they get 2 people from the audience, and there's a red team and a blue team, a red team and a green team, and they go head to head and have to cook each meal with 4 or 5 ingredients that they get handed. So that's the premise of that show. Hell's Kitchen's just angry yelling and really funny insults. So the premise of that is there's a whole heap of chefs. There's a blue team and a red team. They have competitions and they're all fighting to win a restaurant in Vegas owned by Gordon Ramsay, but he's going to assist them and all that. So besides that, I went into Iron Chef what the hell is going on? First off, I didn't even realize it had like English translation, which was a bit weird, but handy because I had no idea what they were saying. The food ingredients that they used were crazy. They used like eel and whale and stuff, which I think is very inhumane. But then again, I'm not a vegan, so I'm being inhumane by eating chicken, beef, pork, you know. I'm not going to get into that. So first off, their ingredients were crazy and I was like, what the hell? Who eats this stuff? But obviously it's like traditional cuisine in like Japan.
I think so. Okay, and the formula was 50 degrees, 20 minutes, right?
Very nice.
Perfectly cooked.
Or cooked.
Okay, and what's he got down in there?
It's perfectly cooked. What would I know?
Combined foie gras and the oil stewed duck meat, I believe. All right. Yeah, that's what exactly what nice little set onto the plate. Yeah.
This is what fine dining is. I don't want any part of it.
Take it.
And elsewhere. And a thing I found interesting was they have like 4 chefs and then the like 4 celebrity chefs, and then they have like chefs that come in with them and go head to head. So they choose one or two. So they choose 1 or 2 to go head to head with. And each chef is like specialized in a specific cuisine. So there's like Italian, Japanese, French, and something else. So obviously the celebrity chef gets chosen, and I was surprised that they had like specific cuisines, because in Italian cuisine you would never use like eel or whale or something like that. Like they tend to use more pork and seafood and beef, I guess, well, from my experience. So I thought that was really interesting. The actual show itself, Iron Chef, had no dramatic music. So unlike Australian shows and especially American TV shows, their sound effects are disgusting. Like Gordon Ramsay will be cutting into something and it'll have like squelching noises and all that. And, you know, it's unnecessary. And I kind of like the toned down, laid back version of like Japan's cooking show, where they don't need to add that because there's enough drama within like what's happening, what they're actually doing, instead of people yelling and all that. It's very stressful, so they have to cook like 3 courses within a certain amount of time. So they're very stressed, but they're also professional, so they can handle themselves, which I like. Whereas I find that in American shows, they're not professional, which makes it more dramatic, and therefore they had to add even more music to make it even more dramatic. And it's just like this build-up of things that don't need to be there. So that's like another thought. What else? The costumes were crazy. So the Japanese costuming of the Iron Chefs were like traditional Japanese, like it looked like silky, but they're chefs, so I don't understand how that's 1, safe, and 2, is that not like a hazard or something? And imagine the oil stains on that silky stuff. That's never going to come out. The things that go through my mind are crazy. Anyway, so those are like some of the main parts that I were like, that made me think. But then when I compare to like Ready Steady Cook, which is a very like basic show and I don't think exists anymore. Let me look that up. Whoa, there's like 1,735 episodes. So it ended in 2010. Which is wild. That's a really long time. It started in 1994 and ended in 2010. So that's a pretty decent amount of time. I feel like Iron Chef had... Iron Chef started in 1993 and ended in 1999. But there's been heaps of like remakes of it. There's Iron Chef America, Iron Chef Thailand. Let's have a look what else. Iron Chef UK, Iron Chef Vietnam, Australia. The Australian one did not go well. I don't know why. Maybe because we seem to butcher a lot of things. Is that bad to say? But it's true. Anyway, moving on from Iron Chef, I experienced a YouTube channel which is called Cooking with Dog, which is a really interesting thing for me to see because it's an older woman who cooks from home, but she has her poodle sitting next to her, whose name is Frances. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Frances. And Frances narrates what the cook is doing, but is a dog and sits there and falls asleep a lot of the time. So I don't understand, but it's a really popular YouTube channel. Even though Frances passed away, I'm shocked that it still exists. But they've somehow made it work by like editing a t-shirt with like a mouth that moves and pretends to be the dog.
Hi, I'm Francis, the host of this show, Cooking with a Dog.
I don't know, but it's a Japanese show. The woman speaks Japanese, and then there's subtitles for people all around the world to understand. They're in English though. And then Frances is narrated by an American man, I believe. No, a Japanese man that can speak English, which is convenient. I think they must get a lot of a variety of people that watch the YouTube channel because there's over like 1 million subscribers. So I think that was really interesting. And again, compared to my framework of like experience watching American and Italian cooking shows, like what the hell, there was a big difference and I was very confused by it. I just realized that I get sidetracked very easily. But what I wanted to say overall is that my cultural framework has framed like an idea of what an ideal cooking show should be. So something like Ready Steady Cook, but for entertainment purposes, I prefer something like Hell's Kitchen. So when I went to watch the Japanese shows, I was very confused, but in a good way, because I would probably watch Iron Chef again for sure. Not so much Cooking with Dog, because that was just weird. I mean, some people may like that, but for me, I just didn't understand. But the recipes were good, so maybe I would. Anyway, moral of the story is my framework has shaped me to see Japanese shows like that to be completely different and something that I've never experienced before, which, I mean, I'm kind of sad about. I wish I had been exposed to them earlier, but yeah, I think that's what I'm trying to say, that everything's different, but I feel like if you watch it, you will understand and see what I mean, because obviously we're from a Western culture where everything's fine and dandy and normal. But once you look into this culture, you think, holy shit, holy crap, this is cool. So yes, thank you for watching. I hope I can continue this in another subject at some point in the future, but let me know what you think about Iron Chef and cooking shows because I'm really intrigued to hear. Thanks for watching. Bye!